On October 13, 1972, a Fairchild FH-227D plane operated by the Uruguayan Air Force, carrying 45 passengers, including members of the Old Christians Club rugby team from Montevideo, Uruguay, crashed in the Andes Mountains on its way to Santiago, Chile. The co-pilot, mistakenly believing they had cleared the mountains, descended too early in poor visibility and turbulent weather. The plane struck a mountain, breaking into pieces as it slid down a snowy slope. 12 passengers were killed instantly, leaving the remaining survivors injured and in shock, huddling in the wrecked fuselage. At over 12,000 feet, the survivors faced intense cold, thin air and isolation with minimal supplies, as they were ill-equipped for such harsh conditions. They salvaged what little food they had, some chocolate bars, crackers, and wine. However, as days passed, starvation and dehydration took hold, and they soon realized they were stranded in one of the most remote areas on Earth. Within a few days, they heard over a small radio that the search for them had been called off, as authorities believed no one could survive such extreme conditions. This devastating news forced them to confront a difficult decision. To survive, they would need to consume the bodies of those who had already perished in the crash. This decision was extremely challenging and sparked intense moral and spiritual debate among the survivors, many of whom were devout Catholics. Despite their struggles, they ultimately concluded that this was their only chance to stay alive. The act of cannibalism was deeply distressing for all involved, and they approached it as a final act of respect for those who had died. They adopted an unspoken rule of respect and silence around the act, refraining from openly discussing the source of their food. The extreme cold preserved the bodies, allowing them to ration carefully, but each individual struggled with the psychological burden of this decision. Their shared understanding and unity helped them endure, but the experience left them with deep, lasting scars. On October 29th, another tragedy struck. An avalanche buried the fuselage where they had been sheltering, killing 8 more survivors. This event further traumatized the group, but those who remained continued to organize themselves for survival, sharing tasks like melting snow for water, fortifying their shelter, and keeping spirits as high as possible. In such a desolate and harsh environment, their unity and sense of purpose became crucial to their resilience. Weeks turned into months, and their hopes of rescue dwindled as their physical conditions deteriorated. Realizing that staying by the wreckage would likely lead to their deaths, 2 survivors, Nando Parado and Roberto Canessa, made the courageous decision to embark on a journey across the mountains to seek help. Though severely weakened, they crafted makeshift gear from the plane's remains and prepared for an arduous trek. On December 12th, after more than 2 months of surviving in unimaginable conditions, Parado and Canessa set out, enduring 10 grueling days of cold, exhaustion, and challenging mountain terrain. Their determination and hope of saving the others kept them going. Finally, they encountered a Chilean shepherd, Sergio Catalan, who listened to their story and rushed to alert authorities. On December 20th, the Chilean authorities launched a rescue operation, reaching the survivors on December 22nd. 14 people were airlifted from the crash site, ending their 72-day ordeal. News of their survival and the extraordinary lengths they went to spread quickly, sparking both admiration and ethical debates, particularly around their decision to resort to cannibalism. While the public was largely awestruck by their resilience, many struggled with the moral implications of their actions. The survivors later shared their story, detailing both the physical and psychological hardships they faced. They spoke of the trust and solidarity they built, bonds that enabled them to endure their circumstances. Though discussing cannibalism was difficult, they shared it as part of their story to help people understand the desperation of their situation. Their faith, respect for those who had died, and belief that their fallen companions would understand helped them cope with the trauma.